Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for. This is your July bonus reading, and we are going to jump right in here. You have this full moon in Cancer. It says a personal issue reaches resolution. You have this new moon in Aries. It says it's time to take action. I mean, annoying because I don't know how many readings I've done for you that basically say it's time to take action on something or it's time to make a move on something here, Cancer. So, obviously it can take time for people to, do what they need to do or make a move towards something that they want to make a move towards. So, it is what it is. But, that's what I'll say about that. But clearly there's something that you're wishing for. You've been getting this in readings as well here, Cancer, that you have been like wishing for something or you've been asking for something. And I feel like it's here, but you just have to you just have to claim it or, you just have to accept it into your life. And that's kind of like what I feel here with these readings. We're doing a Celtic cross, obviously. So for your current general energies, the first card is how you enter into the Celtic cross, how you're entering into this month, or the bonus month. You have the Death card, so a big change or big changes. You have the Eight of Cups, and I have a feeling that all three water signs are probably going to get the Eight of Cups. I think things are changing just in general for water signs. Plus, we have Jupiter in your sign, Cancer, which is amazing. But, so for, Jupiter's going to trine all three, it's going to trine the other two water signs, Scorpio and Pisces. So that's why it's going to affect all three water signs. But I think all three water signs want more. So, it's just expansion time, growth time. The whole point of the Death card is that the king is dead underneath the Death Rider, and the card itself says even kings die. Like, nothing is immune to death. Everything undergoes a transformation. And so things that we thought would last forever, sometimes they don't. But, with Jupiter in your sign now, Cancer, I think a lot of you are just, realizing that things are changing. Or, it's like you're just realizing that sometimes, like, you just have to grow. It's not like a good or a bad thing. It's like sometimes we just outgrow a situation and it's time to expand, right? And that is what the Death card is really talking about here. You show up as your crossing energy, which is very interesting because Pisces showed up as themselves as their crossing energy, which is kind of weird. But the Queen of Cups is you. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. I feel like you really need to follow your heart on something here. It's like your heart is trying to get you to do something, Cancer. And it's probably something you've been wishing for with the Nine of Cups. But, it's almost like you're not, or maybe you're trying to be overly analytical or overly logical on something that isn't logical. So I do feel it is kind of time for you to make a move, as that Aries card says. We have Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and, they both are going to retrograde out of Aries. And then, next year in January, Neptune will move back into Aries. And then in February, Saturn will move back into Aries. But Aries is like initiation energy. We have to get started on things and make things happen. And so I kind of feel that it's time, it is time for everybody to initiate things. The Queen of Cups is about following your heart. So I feel it is time for you to follow your heart at this time, and that's what I would do. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Hermit card. All the things you've been through here, Cancer. I almost just said Virgo, but because this is Virgo. But I think you are thinking about everything that you've been through, everything that has happened in your life. Really your life could be flashing before your eyes, and in a sense, it's like you're reliving things. That's what I feel here. That kind of makes sense. We have Mercury retrograde this month. And so it kind of makes sense to me that a lot of you could be deep in introspection or deep in introspective thought. I don't really feel this is like good or bad. I just feel it's a process that you're going through. Again, he's doing this to find his inner light. And I feel like saying that maybe you're doing this to find your clarity. It's like maybe you're going over things, like relationships, businesses, things, places you've worked. And you're just like going over those things in your mind. And you're saying, yes, I want this, or no, I don't, right? And so you could be deciding, yes, I want love. No, I don't. Yes, I want to own my own business. No, I don't. I think you're kind of like doing a lot of that type of inner work where you are making decisions based off of your past experiences. Like I said, I feel this is pretty much a good thing, really. The Hermit is about knowledge and wisdom. And, the Hermit also says that you probably know more than enough to make a move. So, you always get these time for action cards. And I feel it's saying, like, if you've been stalling or delaying, which it kind of feels like you have been, because, again, several of your past readings, you get these cards that basically say the same thing. So I feel that, the reading itself is saying it's time to make your move. In your foundation, you have the Four Wands. Four Wands can be marriage. This isn't really a love reading yet. That could change in a minute. But the Four Wands actually really good in the foundation position because it's like your foundation for the entire reading. Fours are foundational, so very good. The Four Wands is a card of freedom. And so the Four Wands kind of wants us to finish one thing, cross through the threshold here so that we can celebrate on the other side. So the Four Wands, we usually have to finish one thing up so that we can have this celebration. And, again, it's kind of like a finish line right here. So we have to cross through the finish line. The Four Wands also kind of says we have to commit to freedom and whatever that means for you. So, if there are things in life that would make you feel more free, then, what would that look like? I don't know. I'm not you, Cancer. You're all different. You all want different things, right? So it's about deciding what would truly make you feel free and not what makes other people feel free, or not what other people tell you what to do in your life. And it's about doing those things. Next, in your past position, this is the energy that you are moving past. You have a skunk spirit, says know your worth. You have a starfish spirit, says open to infinite possibilities. So, yeah, I think you need to believe in yourself more. Of course, and with Jupiter in your sign, one of the things about having Jupiter in your first is that it kind of makes you know your worth more. It makes you stand out. It makes you need to stand out. And so a lot of you could be like, standing up for yourself more, expanding in general. I feel like you are realizing that there are many different ways of doing things with that starfish, and you're just kind of like opening to infinite possibilities. You have the Fool. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith in a new direction. He's taking a leap of faith towards something new. He doesn't really know what he's taking a leap of faith towards. Well, he does, maybe. But, he's maybe risking looking foolish. And the whole point of the Fool is to take the risk of looking like a fool. And that's what he kind of has to do. And I think that will be a good thing. The other thing that's popping into my head is like your intentions. He has this white rose here. And the white rose represents purity or pure intentions. I think you need to I think you need to make sure that you do things without, based off of your own intentions, like things that you want to do. And that's what I would focus on here with the Fool card. Even though it's coming up in the past, I still kind of feel this is something, like, even though it is coming up in the past, I feel like this is something you're about to do or haven't done yet. I don't know. But, I feel it's time to take a leap of faith with this energy. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Accept What Is card. It says the act of acceptance will bring peace. You have this Be Present. It says find clarity in the moment. Nine of Cups. You have the Nine of Cups here, which also kind of represents being present, right? So being in the present moment, accepting things for how they are, I think would be a really good idea. I also feel like that racing energy here, like I don't feel this is bad, but it's like sometimes I think we start thinking about the things that we don't have, and then we kind of like race ahead, and we feel, maybe we feel like our heart is racing when we feel those things. And so I do feel this is definitely encouraging you to simmer down, be calm, stay in the present and realize that you haven't run out of time. Next, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is a card of fulfillment or wish fulfillment. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be getting something you've been wishing for or asking for, which is great. Definitely I feel this could be a good thing for you here, Cancer. I feel a lot of happiness on this card, which I don't normally, sure, the Nine of Cups could bring in happiness because it's like a wish card, but I don't look at it as a wish card. It is, I mean a happiness card, necessarily. Although happiness is an amazing place to manifest from. So if you are asking for something or making a wish, I feel this card is saying that, doing things or finding things that make you happy will probably be the best energy for you here. I also would definitely encourage you to bathe in the energy of what you desire, because I just think it'll be very helpful. Being the thing that you want to be in life, or whatever you want to call it. I always say the easiest way to get what you want with this card is to be the thing that you want to be, even if you don't have it yet. So we kind of have to act as if with the Nine of Cups to get the things that we want and desire. It's also interesting that his like arms are folded here. I never pay attention to this. It's like he kind of has closed off body language here, and it is like popping into my head that you should be open to receiving. So I would like open up to the things that you want and desire. Next, in the area of your outcome row, you have this temptation card. It says, what is tempting you may not be a wise choice at this moment. Remember that we had the devil in almost every single reading for July, and also the next 3-month readings all had the devil in them. So there's definitely something about temptations and probably control as well with the devil in over the next few months. So I would be careful of temptations in general. You have this new love card, this Libra card. It says, a new romantic relationship is unfolding that will be deeply meaningful to you. There you go. If you want love, sure. I didn't even see that. After I said this isn't really a love reading, well, there you go. There definitely could be a new love connection coming in for you, so I love it. That looks good. Next, in the area of your next few months, you have the 8 of Cups. I do feel that this is definitely true for Cancer, that you could be walking away from something. He's walking away from something that did provide him with something. He's walking away from these 8 Cups, right? So those 8 Cups once provided him with something that he did desire, and now he's having to walk away from those 8 Cups because they no longer fulfill him. I always say that really this card is about deciding that you're not going to settle, or deciding that you're not going to settle for less than you deserve. And I feel a lot of you could be leaving something where you're deciding that you're just not going to settle for less. The other thing is, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's like, I don't know. They're just like, there are things in life where I feel like people tell us we should, believe a certain thing, or we should, live life a certain way, right? And I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I can't think of it. But, what I would say is, like, I kind of feel like some of you are walking away from the hurt, with the 8 of Cups. It's like, instead of, like, letting people be like, oh, you have to have a career, and you have to, do this, that, and the other thing with your life. You're saying, like, maybe not. Maybe I could do what I want to do. Maybe I could set myself free. And we see a lot of freedom here in this reading, so I feel a lot of you are doing things to set yourself free. Next, you have the 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is coming up in the area of your closest relationships. So this is all relationships in your life. It's like I get a couple of things here, Cancer. Number one, if you want love, I feel like there's like love right behind you. It's like the second you let go of something from the past that you wouldn't even go back to anyway is like the second you're going to attract something new. So I feel that. The other thing I feel here is like maturity, which it might sound weird, but it's like sometimes in life I think we, get to a certain age and it's like all our friends are getting married, we're not married, and, all that other stuff. And so it's like you could be like feeling people kind of moving away from you in that sense. Like if all your friends are getting married and having children or something, but you're not, there's like certain, I think that there can be certain feelings that go along with that. And, it's like I don't really feel bad or good about it. I feel like you're just thinking about it. Like you might be saying like, wow, and I'm not saying like, oh, you have to get married or, oh, you have to have children. I'm just saying that, you're noticing like the friends that are kind of like maybe not giving you as much time or, something. And it's like you're having to do something to fulfill yourself, with the 2 Cups. Once he lets go of those things that no longer serve him, he gets this bridge in this castle. Part of me wonders if this could be Uranus going into Gemini. Uranus will be moving into Gemini on the 7th of July, obviously. And, I think it could bring in, like, weird changes in our lives or things like that. And so, I don't know. There you go. You have the 3 of Cups coming up in the area of your future feelings. Finding new friends, right? The 3 of Cups is amazing. So, 3 Cups can be celebration, party, enjoyment, having fun. These 3 ladies are celebrating a harvest as well. So surrounding yourself with people you can celebrate with is going to be very important for you here, Cancer. It's going to lead to a lot of success. I also do feel like there could be a reunion even. So like if you have friends they haven't seen in a while, I feel some of you could be getting back. Like maybe you're getting back together with those friends or you're spending more time with those friends. So I wouldn't even worry about it. Next, you have the 10 of Pentacles. Sorry, no, I lied. The 4 of Pentacles. I don't know why I said the 10 of Pentacles, but I did. Sometimes I think those slips are not an accident. So, maybe there is something about 10 of Pentacles. One thing I would say is like, the 4 of Pentacles is kind of like the lame version of the 10 of Pentacles, right? It's like the 10 of Pentacles is everything you want and desire. It's like here's the difference, right? It's like nobody really wants to be financially secure. right? People don't really want financial security. People want millions of dollars, for example, right? So they want ultimate financial security. It's like the Four of Pentacles is like a person who like saves their money, they live their life, they can pay their bills, they're not struggling, but like maybe they don't have money for anything extra in life. It's like they're just kind of scraping by. But also maybe they also kind of have a little bit of money, like they have money in savings and things like that. Like this is the, perfectly financially stable person. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but, it's like the Ten of Pentacles is like everything you want and desire. So I feel like this is saying, why would you settle? There is something in this reading that is saying, don't settle. You have the Eight of Cups right here, right? It's like, why would you settle for something safe or boring? With that Four of Pentacles is what I feel. We're going to clarify now. With the Death card and the Queen of Cups, you have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, it's like Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. Nine of Swords says that you have gone to bed, had a nightmare, you've woken up, and you're stuck in a nightmare. But Nine of Swords, we can easily escape. We can easily get out of this bed, and we can make changes. So I do feel like there's something, especially if you're in a situation that's just going round and round, or if you're in something that's like Groundhog's Day where things never change. I kind of am getting that here, Cancer. It's like, it's like almost saying to me, like, how much more proof do you need that something isn't going to work? Or, how much more proof do you need that something is done? And it could be anything. With the Hermit, you have the Nine of Cups. Some of you during the retrograde from July 17th or 18th, depending on where you are in the world, till like August 12th, some of you might need to take a pause, and you might need to think about all the things you want and desire. So, so it's like sometimes if we don't know what we want, then how can we get it? And so I think you need to think about what will lead to happiness. Again, I think what people are realizing right now, and like this would take me a long time to explain because I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say, but I think what people are going to understand in the future is that for a long time, we've basically been in a system that is telling us how to live. Like, oh, you have to have a career. You have to go do these things. And like, I think people are realizing that they're not happy and that basically it was all for nothing. And, so in a lot of ways, I feel like people are starting to put themselves first. Like, this isn't a bad thing, right? It's like, I feel like people are saying like, I don't actually have to be part of this system anymore. I can create my own system. I can do my own thing. I can find my own fulfillment, and I can figure out my own answers for myself. With the Four Wands, you have the Six of Swords, moving on to calmer shores, but also another card is setting yourself free. So the Six of Swords, sometimes, I believe that they can be stuck in the mud. Six of Swords can represent being stuck in the mud. So they might be not moving forwards or backwards. This guy is trying to push them out. He's trying to push them forward to the calmer shores. So I feel like maybe some of you have been feeling stuck in the mud for a while. But the good news is I feel like you are finally making progress, which I love to see. With the Fool, you have the Hierophant. Yes, really wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if some of you Cancers were escaping some sort of belief system, like this could be anything. This could be corporate culture that you're escaping. This could be, some sort of inside-the-box thinking that you're escaping, right? The Hierophant, he can just represent inside-the-box thinking, like I just said. So you could be walking away from something that is very inside-the-box, or you could be walking away from, like, a group, or, a certain group of people that all believe the same thing. And, I don't know, just, like, part of life. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Two of Wands. It's like, what would life be like if you took the risk? Probably freaking amazing, Cancer. So I think you need to like take the leap of faith into something new. It's like something stands on its own. You have this Two of Wands here. And so I feel for a lot of you that the Two of Wands says something stands on its own. Now it's time to reach forward and grab onto something new. And you will have your whole world in your hands if you do that with the World card. So I feel like it's time to take a risk, get out into the world, experience new things, do new things, try new things, all that other stuff. Time to take the lead in your life as well. With the Eight of Cups, you have two cards. You have the Four of Wands again and the Emperor. So definitely if you are looking for love, you could be attracting an Emperor-type person, a bossed-up person, a person who takes the lead. Definitely could be a person that you marry. I mean, this is coming up in the area of the next few months. And I definitely wouldn't say like, oh, you're going to marry this person over the next few months. It could take longer than that. But, definitely could be a significant commitment that you are making. I also feel like, I'm pretty sure I said this to you. I don't know, Cancer. Sometimes I wish I was clearer on some of the messages I get, but you know, the universe gives me what it gives me message wise. It's like there is, like, I feel like there is something coming in for you, and I'm not saying it's love, but there is something that is going to bring you into a whole new world. And I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but what I'm saying is, it's like imagine like if you had a YouTube channel, and it's like imagine if all of a sudden you got picked up by like a television thing and you ended up on TV. It would be like it would be like a whole new world. It would be like similar but different. That is kind of like the best way I can describe it. It's like there's something coming into your life that is just like providing you with a whole new world. But this is probably something you've worked for or earned. Like, I'm not saying you're just going to magically get this. For some of you, it could be love. And I'm not saying it's going to be like, all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. I don't think any relationship is perfect. It's like, again, I think relationships are a little bit delusional in the first place. Like, you're expected to live with someone forever and, get along perfectly all the time. Highly doubt it. Right? But, again, this could be something very good. But I think it's like a whole new world, as in, it's like maybe you find a person where you don't have to have a career anymore. Or maybe you find a person where you, travel. Or, it's like a person from another country and you move to another country. It's like there's something going on here. And, but same thing with, like, work. Like, if this is a work opportunity, it's going to be different for all of you. But if it's a work opportunity, I feel like maybe you get a leadership position, or maybe it puts you into a leadership position. That's what I'm getting. With the Five of Cups, you have the Justice card. Justice is like cause and effect. So with the Justice card, we have to pay attention to equal give and take, especially in your relationships. I would be very careful this month of equal give and take. It is a Mercury retrograde month, so, it's like, and there's other weird stuff. It's a good month, but, there's other stuff going on where I feel we should really pay attention to, like, who gets what. And, if you're giving energy to something, as long as you're getting energy back with the Justice card, that's perfectly fine, right? With the Three of Cups, you have the Six of Wands. Yes, you are going to be very popular over the next, 16 and a half months, 17 months, whatever it is. With Jupiter in your sign, Jupiter in your sign will make you very popular. So, a lot of people might want your attention. This can be good. Like, I would definitely take advantage of this in work or business. Like, I would be trying to stand out, especially if you're trying to get a raise or a promotion. Anything you could do to speak up, speak out, get attention, do extra work. Make sure your boss knows that you did extra work as well, and brag about the things that you did. All that is going to be very important for you with the Six of Wands. So I would be doing whatever you can. Also good for love. So not really a love reading, but for those of you that want it, I would say that getting attention would be very good for you. I would encourage you to do extra work this month, especially if you, like, let's say you do have a YouTube channel. I would do, like, extra things to get attention. It's like if you can, maybe you could just do, like, one extra video, or, like, if you work in social media, it's like, again, I wouldn't burn yourself out. That's not what I'm saying, but, maybe you could just do, like, one or two extra things. I think it would be worth it. For your outcome with the Four of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles. Very interesting that I said 10 of Pentacles as well. I still think that's kind of interesting that I said that. King of Pentacles is like ultimate wealth, right? He is wealth. He is ultimate security and abundance. So a lot of you could be building a lot more wealth, or you could be doing things to create a lot more wealth in your life with that card. And, I think that it'll be very good for you. I also think this is a good card, by the way, before we move on. He has these grapes on his cloak, and the grapes in the tarot can represent a skill that you have that other people can't really do well, but you can. And so I would be, doubling down on any of your skills, or I'd make sure you're using your skills to be successful. You have this Moon card. It says changes in your life. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changes going on right now, so a lot of people are experiencing changes, yada, yada, yada. I really have nothing to say about it. We're in a time of change. You have this Caterpillar that says, things will not always be this way. A change is coming. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you right now, it's like your life is about to become more beautiful. That's what this is saying, Cancer, to me. This is not going to happen overnight. So, this is something, obviously a caterpillar goes into its chrysalis, it turns into caterpillar soup, and then it becomes a butterfly. Then even when it becomes a butterfly, it's got to pump its wings up. Butterflies are very fragile, right? So the other thing that you have to think about is, like, let's say you're getting into a relationship that makes your life more beautiful. This is saying you need to focus on the structure, right? Like a butterfly pumping up its wings. You need to focus on the structure. That's what's popping into my head, to make sure that it's something that can last for a long time. Same thing with work or business or anything else that you're working on. It's like, you're going to have to, like, and I think the whole entire reading might be saying this as well. Four of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Four of Wands showing up twice. These are all structure cards, and maybe that's what this reading is saying. The funny thing is, as well, is that this Starfish card, not in this deck, but in the Wild Unknown Animal Oracle, I can't remember exactly what she says in the book for the Starfish in her deck, but Kim Krantz. But what I would say is I'm pretty sure she says something about how, like, Starfish, it's like they look a certain way on the top. They look beautiful on the top, right? But if you look at one from underneath, they kind of look ugly. Although I think they're cool, so I don't think they're ugly. But, I'm just giving you an example here. They kind of look gross from underneath. It's like that's what this reading is saying. Even think about it. I just said caterpillar soup, which is gross, right? So it's like there's something about structure and making sure that something has a solid structure, especially if you're like starting something new. But definitely a change. And again, your life's about to become more beautiful is what I feel. You have this Elephant card. It says, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. Yeah, I'm a big fan of long journeys right now. It's like, I don't know what it is. I wish I could explain this one as well. But it's like I hear from a lot of people lately where they're like, well, I'm just not going to get into a relationship, for example, because everybody hurts me, and blah, 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 all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, but it's like you're just cheating yourself out of experiences. It's like, yeah, I understand it hurts, but if we learn to pay attention, it doesn't have to hurt, number one. If we pay attention and we're being honest with ourselves, then we'll be fine. And I would just pay attention. But I kind of feel that here. Like there's a journey that you might be preventing yourself from going on. Two of Wands, Eight of Cups. It's time to take action. It's like you've been delaying something for too long. And I feel like you need to go on this journey. You have this Older Man card. It says dealing with relationships with an older man. You have this Mountain. It says major challenge to overcome. You could be attracting an older person, and maybe there are some obstacles to get to that person. But, again, it might not be that big of a deal. So that's one thing. The other thing I would say is we are in a time of mentors. If you have a big obstacle, like everybody gets a King of Swords. You don't have it here, but I'm just saying, King of Swords can be a person who can solve your problems very quickly. They can be a mentor or a person who understands things that you don't. And so it would be a good time to find mentors at this time. You have this hammock. It says taking a vacation either physically or mentally. Yes, maybe you need a vacation here, Cancer, for sure. But this looks really good, Cancer. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.